So tonight, I'm going to bring on a friend of mine who happens to be Project Possum also. And I'm going to introduce you to her right now. Let me get off our main slide and bring her in. And so tonight, everyone, I want to introduce you to possum scientist astronaut, Dr. Aidyl Gonzalez. She has a doctorate in molecular genetics from Caltech. And she runs a nonprofit organization she co-founded and co-directs called GOLD, which is Gift Over Learning Differences Initiative. And she's a wife, a mother, a researcher, an educator, scuba diver, avid hiker, an amateur magician, which I find very interesting. And she's also a solar system ambassador like me. Can you hear me okay? You can't hear me? Oh, wait, we have a problem with the mic. Who can hear? So let me unmute you. And so I wonder why we don't have audio on that side. Interesting. Sorry, everybody. This is a first time. Aidyl, can you say something? Speak? Talk? Oh, boy. All right. So let me try bringing her in again. And so hide. Let me see if you guys can hear me on Facebook Live. And so let me go over here and troubleshoot. And this is what's always fun about trying something new, is figuring it out. And so I am going here and talk. Oh, boy. Okay, I can hear me, right, but I can't hear her. Let me try. Okay, bringing her in again. Let me turn that off. And let's see. Let me bring her in again and see if this comes. Okay, so I'm going to bring her in on audio. It's on her end. Hi, Aidyl, are you there?
Yeah, now I'm here. Can you hear me now?
I can hear.
It's gotta be my end.
It is. It's on your end, but you can't hear us, can you?
No, well, no. I'm wondering if I should use a different computer.
Do you want to try? Yeah, why don't you do that? Or you can use your phone, because I sent you that link and you can do it through your phone. So just click on that link. Okay, I'm going to take you off. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, everyone. Well, welcome to the fun of technology and how things happen when you go live. And so for those of you that don't know what Space Snacks is, it's my new initiative to reach out to all of my space friends to talk about one of the things that I love, which is food. And so as you can see, I'm wearing my cool Meals from Mars outfit. I usually only break this out for Yuri's night. And I thought that it'd be fun to bring some of my friends who love space exploration as much as I do, but also like food. And so that we did the first one earlier today, and that went really well. And so now this is my second time going live on Facebook. And so those of you that have been able to join me so far, I want to thank you. You can leave a message in the chat and let me know that you're here, where you're tuning in from, and what your favorite snack is. Right now, I've got my Doritos, and not the healthiest snack, I realize that. And so hopefully Aidyl will be joining us in a minute now with her new computer. And so some of the things that I've been thinking about is I came out with my cookbook, Meals for Earth. Some of you guys know that. And so what I've been thinking about now that we're in isolation is Meals for Earth. And so Meals for Mars was the cookbook. And so I have a restaurant. I have a recipe contest that is currently open. If you go to my Meals for Mars Facebook page, you'll be able to see that. And so still waiting for Aidyl to jump in here. And I just want to check on her and see if she's okay. Oh, she, I can hear you. And so let me bring you in here. And so you're going to pop in. There you are. Yay,
Yay!
technology solved.
Technology. We overcame it.
And so great to have you on the show to talk about food and space and some of the things that have, motivated you. And one of the questions that I wanted to ask you, and this is kind of the basic one that I ask everybody, is why space? What is it that has gotten you or drives you?
What drives me is knowing that we are in a rock or on a rock all together. And basically, we're one large entity riding this big blue ship, and we need to respect it. And I want to see that with my own eyes and say, hey, we're like, what a way now that we're going through this pandemic that the astronauts actually see, wow, we are one entity and we have such beauty and that we should be working together, and definitely demonstrating that we are one. There is no one person is better than the other or one organism is better than the other. The abiotic and biotic factors are working in harmony to create such diversity and harmony and beauty that why not look at space? And at the same time, we all come from the same elements, as Neil deGrasse Tyson says. We all space dust, and
Right.
I want to see if we have a family out there in a similar rock having such great diversity and hope and dreams, and that we come from the same stuff. Why not? I mean, we're more than this, and we could be better than this in a way too, right?
But now you grew up in the Bronx in New York. And
Yes.
so do you remember as a kid looking up at the stars, and did you see stars in the big city like that?
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
we had Tar Beach. So my father used to be the superintendent, 1182 West Farm Road, right? All around us is abandoned buildings. We were the only habitable building. And during the summertime is when we really saw beautiful stars. And at nighttime, he let us go up to the roof, and we just, he let us lie down. And I remember just looking at all these stars and things like passing by. I know I saw a couple of shooting stars. I'm like, oh my God, aliens. That just totally fascinated me and made me feel so insignificant and significant at the same time. And the moon. I know you asked a question about what celestial object up there, inspires you, that you like the best. It's like the moon. Everywhere on this planet, we should look at the same body that is white and big and provides light. Is that we see that, and that gives me comfort, especially when I have family like in Puerto Rico, or if my father's traveling, he's working somewhere in the neighborhood, and he won't be coming home till like the next day. We're looking at the same light, the same moon. I think it's there's my hug. It's amazing. And knowing that we were there, we had humans there standing on it. And then you could be on that object and look at look at the earth. I don't know. It's just a comfort that no matter where I am on this planet earth, I could still see that. Everybody has the same shot to see it. No one has a better view. I don't know. I think it's amazing. Oh, did I lose you, Cyan? Hello?
Find interesting is your answer on that. And so where would you want to explore? Share that with everybody.
Oh, I couldn't hear you because I missed that first part. Because you
Oh,
had the moon.
when talking about where you'd most want to explore, the moon was one of the choices, Mars, Earth, International Space Station, or to do a suborbital flight. And what was your response to that?
ISS, because we're doing the suborbital flight right in September. But
right.
I want to go on the ISS. I want to definitely see by looking at the Earth, like, I'm doing research. My hands and my investigations and my body is going to be used to betterment humankind, to better the Earth. And I want to see and feel and communicate to my family and to my peers and to individuals who had similar backgrounds as I did. Didn't have any special advantages, South Bronx welfare, all that stuff. First generation, and be on the ISS doing my passions, molecular genetics, developmental biology, and seeing if microgravity is a tool to aid in certain ailments or diseases. Can it slow down Alzheimer's? Can you help with Parkinson's? Can you develop a new technology that we can actually have an organism like suit that we could actually have, that we could sustain ourselves? It's, my the imagination is limitless, and I want to be part of that. It's exciting.
So do you you obviously you're a big fan of keeping the ISS going. It's
Yes.
been going for a long time now, and so thinking about what's the next generation space station, and then what would that mean for the ISS, or do we abandon the ISS and just go to the moon and all? There's a lot of questions coming down the pipeline about that.
I definitely want the younger generation that we inspire to take it further. Of course, age is a factor, and unless we're able to reverse time and keep our bones strong, of course, I would like to go to Mars and like touch the moon and put my footprint and go ha. But I always wanted to see, if DNA replication is the same in microgravity. Can we use an environment as a tool that could, be used as a tool to, just to aid disorders, diseases, ailments? I think we could do more instead of just using chemistry per se, but using environments. I think it's fascinating. So that's my goal, ISS. And I would love to be part of developing and training the next generation to go even further. So I could say, good job. Now make me proud, pay it forward.
So what would you want to eat on the ISS?
Bacon.
Is that your snack that you brought? Bacon?
Bacon. Dark chocolate, because you cannot really have a life without this, at least in my opinion. Bacon.
That's really funny. I've had 2 people on as my guests so far, and dark chocolate came up for both of you. So there's definitely a theme with the dark chocolate happening. But bacon. I'm definitely bacon.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's another thing, is what would you be drinking in space?
In moderation. So if my students are listening and my peers, in moderation, my sugar-free Red Bull. So I don't drink coffee because I don't like the taste. So this is my hit. And then my little concoction is lime, cranberry juice, and water. I don't know. I just find it refreshing. And then eat the bacon with chocolate. You're in heaven.
It's funny because I can hear your New York accent coming out there every once in a while when you say certain words. It comes from me too, because I grew up split my time between Boston and New York. And so every once in a while I get people like, you're from New York. And I'm like, yeah, yes.
Like when I get really relaxed, that's when the New Yorican kicks in and I start speaking Spanglish. That's where I come from. The earrings. I didn't put the bright red lipstick on because that's a staple. That's to honor my Boricuas out there, my Latinx community. So, yeah, and we do love pig. At least me, growing up in Puerto Rico with my family here in New York, we always have a pig to celebrate. We used to roast it over an open fire. The whole family came together, and we just rotated that puppy all day long. The whole neighborhood smelled of pork, and everybody came over and said, "Dame un poquito, vamos," and everybody just started dancing. I mean, pork is a staple for us. Yeah. Oh my
So is
God.
that your, well, let me ask you, are you a cook, a baker, neither of those things?
I think I'm an other. It's like I think I'm the experimenter. I guess I'm more of a cook, but an
Mhm.
experimenter. I think it's the love of how elements come together and the chemistry from two things that look so blah. Now make solids or make something aromatic or a great moisturizer. Forget about I could do stuff. I just like to experiment and knowing. Okay, now I'm going geeky, and you could tell that I'm also, a teacher. Like, you have your carbon backbone, right? And depending on which functional group you have, okay, now I'm probably having middle schoolers and high schoolers going, whoa, my God. It's for your bio AP, get ready. So the functional groups, amino groups, the thiol groups, depending upon what you add on a carbon backbone, you could change its own behavior like a alter ego. And you can make it for energy if you have phosphates, or if you want stability, you add a sulfate group. It's like that's what I like about cooking and making moisturizers, because I'm all into making moisturizer and exfoliants. I'm that way as well, and balms too, right? Because everything is like carbon based, and depending on how you decorate it with the accessories, you can have a great moisturizer, a great medicine, a great balm, or some delicious bacon with great seasoning with maple. Let's say, you know.
So you basically make moisturizer that you can eat.
You can. That's the best part. Avocado. Come on. I mean, if you mush up avocado and then you just like squeeze it out, you could suck on it and put it in your face, you're in heaven mode. And then you could put it for your hair. You can see I'm talking faster and I'm really relaxed. But yeah.
So I see Shauna says, yes, dark chocolate. So,
Great minds think alike, Shauna.
and I see that Amy's also joining us. So if you have a comment or a question, please leave it in the chat. Tell us that you're here. Where are you listening from? Because I know it's late on the East Coast and Europe, they're all in bed. But I wanted to ask you, if you could eat dinner with anyone, who would it be on the ISS? Like if you could bring someone on the ISS and have a delicious meal, who would you want to have at that table?
Rosalind Franklin. I mean, you have a chemist, a person who was brilliant, unapologetically her, in a lab saying, no, I don't like it this way. And people don't like it because she's not staying within the mold. She's not uh, you're not acting like what a female woman should act like. And she still went through it, said, no, this is my research. Look at how a carbon backbone, and I want to see how it changes, makes all these molecules. And she was able to use her X-ray crystallography to determine the shape of a DNA molecule, RNA molecules, viruses, graphite. Talk about inorganic stuff. Well, organic. It was her. And she just persevered, and I do admire that. And I want to ask her, what kept you going? Knowing that there was Wilkinson and other scientists that were not as welcoming to female scientists. What made you say, I'm going to keep on going? And how did she handle the situation when someone kind of scooped her work?
Well, that's a really interesting thing, because you've faced adversity and you keep going. I mean, you have grit and determination, and it's gotten you to where you are now. And you've overcome some really amazing things in your life. And so do you feel that that's a kindred spirit, that she's a kindred spirit to you to some extent in having some of that same adversity?
I think so. And knowing that you cannot disprove facts. It's not a belief that you could just say, I believe it or not. Facts are facts. Science is science. You have other people in a different language, in a different freaking planet. And if you perform the experiment properly, a controlled experiment, there's the result. You cannot go against that. And having the perseverance and drive to say, hey, I worked with a team. I want to work with a team, but at the same time, if you're not going to work with me, I'm going to show you what I can do. I want to break these
Right.
barriers because I want to make sure that the next generation have it easier and persevere, because it's not all about the self. It's about what's out there. You're stronger when you're with a community. You're happier when you're with a community. You will bring hope, dreams, inspiration, achievement beyond anyone's wildest dream if you are building each other up. If you're tearing someone down, there's something wrong with you. So
what do you think it would be like if she was here today? And, because obviously we stand on the shoulders of those who came before us, those trailblazers who have made a difference. And so it's interesting, huh?
Yeah, I think she would be like, go get it, girl. Boom, dropping the mic. Just even looking at our leaders in the world who are making such great change selflessly, egolessly, she will be like, keep on. And I think she will be one of the first ones in the front line with the gloves, say, come on, we got this. It's not about ego. It's not about money. It's about us. And I could tell she's I don't know, I just feel like she will just, as we all are, and especially in the Possum 13 community, that we are nurturing each other and bringing up the next generation and learning from each other. As your words were, as you inspired us to say, it doesn't matter how old you are, you can still learn. No matter how young you are, you can inspire, right?
Yeah, that's correct. Yes. And so what meal would you make for her? Like, what is your favorite meal?
Okay, I got to be mindful. So definitely dark chocolate. I know she would be a woman like that. Great minds think alike. And I think it would be comfort luxury food. And I think it's cheeses with great savory. If she wants bacon, of course. Hopefully, yeah. Dark chocolate. It could have to be, certain cultures don't like to eat certain things, right? So I'll be mindful. Cheeses, chocolate, a nice red wine, and just talking about accomplishments, talking about the next generation and how powerful they are and how supportive and inclusive, talking about what is our next step. We already closed, let's say, this chapter. There's an age that I have to end all my explorations. What will be my next step? It doesn't mean I should stop and lie down. It should be for me to get up and do something else, because we're here for a reason and we are here for a short time. And it doesn't mean that we lie down and do nothing. That means we get up and do something, because I want to make sure, at least for my life, it's significant. Because I feel like there was a reason why I didn't die. There was a reason why I didn't lose my ability to do stuff when I fell in my accident.
Well, why don't you take a moment and explain to our audience who doesn't know your story, what exactly happened?
Long story short, of course it's Googleable. I fell 140 feet to the ground in an amusement park ride, which basically derailed my career for a bit.
And how old were you when that happened?
How old?
Oh, yep.
I was 30 years old. Yeah. I was 30. Yeah. And that's when I wanted to, that's the prime of your life, of doing space exploration and doing stuff. And my 30s was rough because I had to learn how to walk again, strengthen up my body, adjust to change, because I planned out, once I was able to graduate from RPI, I got into the doctoral program at Caltech. I got into the Institute of Genetic Medicine. I was doing my postdoc. I was actually developing a lab around myotonic dystrophy using Senior-Batis elegans, and then I fell. And all that science and that progress, as I was telling you before, I'm like calling March of Dimes and all these other grants, R1s, and say, I can't finish it. I have a real good reason. I fell. And they go, I'm sorry. I hope you recover. But if you don't make the deadline, ciao. And that devastated me, because I feel like everything that I have done and overcame and breaking the stereotypes that I'm not just going to be another Puerto Rican in the South Bronx, pregnant or dead because of cocaine or crack back in the day. And part of me is that, as you spoke of, the imposter syndrome. They caught me. I feel like they caught me.
Right.
And I have to admit, it was my family, especially my younger son, saying no. And that changed my mindset. I'm like, okay, this is just another hill I got to overcome. It's just time. It's just hard work, but it's going to be worth it. And it was. It derailed me a little bit, but I found a new path. And I was very grateful that I could still. I was running a lab with Dr. Lemunian and Cal Poly Pomona looking at mitochondrial disorders. That's why I love the mitochondria. It's a powerhouse of the cell. And teaching. So I wanted to give back to the younger generation, especially to those that don't have the same resources. And I straddled both. I want to show what you're learning and how it's applied, and trying to get that connection, make science reality, STEAM reality. You don't have to wait till college. You could do it as a high schooler or a middle schooler, depending on your drive. So yeah, it's been an adventure in my life.
And so I have lots of things to celebrate. Do you like to throw parties?
Definitely. We do a lot of murder mystery parties. We try to make it space themed, like legit. I beat them. So we were playing chess, but space chess, and I beat a rocket scientist. Yep. So props to that. So I'm very proud. Try to dress up as much as I can. I also do a lot of Comic-Con, so I try to, honor my space alien friends and, X-Men stuff. Definitely space themed, nerd themed, STEAM themed in this house. That's why my kids are so not into STEAM. Well, they are, but one is an artist, but he uses his art to convey science and talking about global warming. So I'm like, I got him back. Well, my younger one is fascinated, but he doesn't think it's going to be a career for him. He's a runner. Well, my husband.
And so,
he's a rocket.
Do your family? Do you guys all cook together? Or are you the main cook, or does everybody like to cook?
Everybody likes to cook. Now that we're in a weird, now my kids are old. They're 21 and 19. And we're all in different schedules. So everybody's cooking on their own. But it's definitely when they were younger, when we were all together, there was massive cooking. From traditional Spanish food to lasagna or crock pot magic. If you have a family, the crock pot is your friend. And then when they started to get older, we used to make our own pizzas and experiments on textures and cookies. Then when I was introducing them to pernil, a nice good pork butt with a crunchy skin, they liked it, but they hate waiting for it. They didn't want to wait the 8 hours. So it's now that became more seasonal during the holidays. You could tell I'm from New York because my hands are all over the place. But yeah, all of them do cook and experiment, and I'm learning a lot about vegan food. So I actually made from a friend of mine. She sent me the depression cake because there was, there's no egg or no egg, no milk or flour. So it came out really good. So it's called the depression cake. So that was a nice experiment, and it does taste chocolatey. I wish it was a little more dark chocolate. So this is the actual depression cake, and it's actually really good.
Oh, you have it right there.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so it's a vegan cake, flourless, eggless, and no, it has flour, but it's a vegan flour, no egg, no milk, and it came out great. So thank you, Dr. Ing Bowie, for the recipe. So because she's the one, when I wanted to ask her, I wanted to experiment a little bit more and to impress my younger son because he's a vegan. So.
Oh, very cool. Do you have a favorite meal of the day?
Breakfast. Oh my God. Eggs and bacon together with cheese and peppers and onion and a lot of hot sauce. I'm in heaven with a good part of, I can eat that breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That's my favorite. I mean, sometimes we're in a rush when I have to head to work. I stop at, no joke, I do this. I bet you if somebody's there, my son actually texted us. He said, vegans, yes. how you call it? Go to Starbucks. I bring my own bacon because I wanted to add more bacon on the egg sandwiches. I bring bacon everywhere.
So wait, I gotta ask though, because I love bacon also. Crispy or not crispy?
Oh, you need a sweet spot. I want some crunch, but I want that pull. It's a sweet spot.
Ah.
It's a sweet spot because if it's crunchy, I want to do that. You know, that, it's like that. It's that beautiful midpoint of a little crunch and there's a little chew. Yeah.
I'm the type where if you drop the bacon, it shatters into 1,000 pieces. Super crunchy, super like crispy.
That is good for if you get an apple, because I like to make my own caramel apples and I make my caramel. Then, like, I have my apple, I have the caramel. Those crunchy pieces are great on a caramel apple. So sweet and savory. Oh my gosh, people try it. It is beyond.
I had, and it was years ago. I'm not eating gluten anymore, but I had the best donut. That was, it was a maple donut that was covered in bacon, crispy bacon. It was the best donut ever.
Here. Okay, when you come to California, there's a. Oh my God, what is the name of that? It's please somebody put it up. There's a place downtown that actually have the bacon maple donut, and it's so good. So it's like it has the Krispy Kreme taste of the donut, but the maple and they're generous with the bacon. They are so generous. They're not skimping. No, they know you're a bacon lover. You eat it. You know, this is not for diet or pinky up. But no, I can't that thing because that's pleasure. That's happiness. It's healthy. Why I say it's healthy? Does it bring you a smile? Look at your mic. Yeah, healthy.
Well, I know that you have some students that hopefully were watching. And so I'm just going to start finishing up here with, I have one more question. And as you know, I'm wearing my Meals for Mars chef outfit, and I'm a big proponent of combining freeze-dried fruits, meats, and vegetables from around the world with fresh, locally grown or sourced fruits, meats, and vegetables. I call it eat like a Martian. Could you eat like a Martian?
Definitely. Actually, we kind of are trying to experiment with that in my school. So we have this applied science project. We call it the ultimate sustainable system, and we could go off grid. And we have a battery. Took the FRC battery from First Robotics. We charged that either by solar power or through a water wheel that you have conversion of energy. So we have a diode changing it to the mechanical energy to electrical energy to the battery. We have our tilapia. They breed really well. And we grow fruits and vegetables on top. So I wanted to have like a sustainable classroom that if anything goes wrong, we could actually, we were very successful. I could feed like 10 students for about 3-4 days. Because with the protein by the fish, the fruits and vegetables from the top, and I used to have this Medtronic unit inside me because for pain regulation after the Great Fall of 2003, I could even charge myself up. Or if somebody has,
wow!
So that's why we call it an ultimate sustainable system. It's like its own classroom that could feed you back. It's forever giving. So yes,
that's fantastic. Do you have a garden at home?
Actually, we try to grow it, but then the 4 dogs and the duck kind of dig it up. But we do.
Did you say duck?
Yeah, Paco. Yeah, Paco is in the back. Everybody should get a duck. It's worth it. It's road duck. They're too fat to fly, but they love to love. Yeah, we do have fruits and we have vegetables growing in front with the UV light that my soon-to-be son-in-law grows there. I have lots of fruit trees in the back that I try to keep cultivating, and it's just we have not groundhogs, those moles. They eat up the rest of my vegetables, so I'm still trying to figure that out. The dog kind of captures them, but not fast enough. So I'm trying to have more here, but definitely have plenty of fruit. Do have a duck if all needs be, and but I will never eat my taco. But yeah, I'm trying to make a ultimate sustainable system in my house. It's just trying to find a space where the dogs and ducks don't attack it.
Well, Aidyl, this has been really great having you on and talking. Thank you for sharing everything. I hope you had some students listening. Is there one last thing you want to leave them with?
Definitely pay it forward. No matter how hard life may be, or oh my God, you failed. And I think we all speak in the possum community or in the science field or in STEM field. That is the time when you really grow. Nobody has it worse than you. Nobody has it better than you. You have enough for yourself to persevere. And when you have somebody help you, make sure you help it forward. I think that top of domino effect of bringing everybody up, and don't worry about your status, but how you really impact them is the most powerful thing. And that's what I want them to know. And that I always have their back. If you ever need anything, I'm right here all the time. They know that. Actually, everybody in my circle know that in a drop of a hat, I will stop, email them, text them. I've had that many times. I had like that 1-2 o'clock in the morning phone call from a former student saying, help me. And yeah.
Well, it's about the connections. And I am so thankful that we got to meet through Project Possum and become friends, and that you were able to join me today and talk about food and space and just life.
Yeah, thank you. No, thank you.
And so I just want to tell everybody out there who tuned in that our next episode of Space Snacks, and I'll just take